I'm going to show you a couple examples here. So either a letter could be considered a complex cutout, or a box that's been manipulated and different pieces have been added to it. So we're going to do one of each. We're going to try a letter first, and then we'll move to a box sort of like this. Okay. So again, you can choose to work above your horizon line or below it. The choice is really up to you. So to start with your letter, and I'll just do an F for funnel. You can do whatever letter you would like to. I'm just going to draw it with my ruler again, so I've got nice straight lines. If you have a curve in your letter, you can either choose to straighten it out with a ruler, or you can freehand that curve. It's really up to you. So go ahead, put that in. So your letter then is the face of your object. Just like we had the face of an object with our boxes, we do with anything we draw with perspective. So that is, the F becomes just the face there. So now I've got my F right in there. So now I need to start bringing some lines up to the vanishing point. Now I've got a lot more lines to draw to the vanishing point because I have these cutout areas. So I'm going to start with the top and bring those lines back to the vanishing point. Now what you can do now that you have the hang of it a little bit is you can actually start drawing your line in the direction of the vanishing point, but maybe not bring it all the way back since you know you're going to trim it anyway. So that's what I'm going to do for my F. I'm going to start bringing it back. I'm still lined up to my vanishing point, but I'm not going all the way back. Just saves on your erasing just a little bit. Okay, so now I've got the top part of my F. Now I'm going to come down here, and again, I'm lining up to my vanishing point no matter what. And if you run into an area, just stop there. Okay, bring that back. All right, and then I've got this bottom piece to bring back as well. All right, so now I've got all my lines going back to the vanishing point, so I need to decide where I want to trim it. So I'm going to start with the top, and I'm going to draw that line going horizontally, making sure it's parallel. Then from this point here, I'm going to draw a vertical line. All right, and then I'm going to repeat that process down here, and you can decide how far you want that to come back. Okay, bring that down, and then the same thing right here. I'm going to bring this down. All right, then I'm going to go through and erase all my little extra lines. Got a little one going in here, and actually I've got one more line to make right through here as well. Okay, and then I'm going to erase this. All right, and then erase these lines. All right, and then I've got my 3D F in perspective, 1-point perspective, going back to my vanishing point there. All right, so then I'm going to try one more type of complex cutout. Now to start, all I'm going to do is draw a rectangle to start with. And then I'm going to just sort of cut out areas of it. So I'm going to just cut out a little piece right here. You can make a random shape. You might have something in mind that you want to do. Then I'm going to get rid of this. If you're feeling ambitious, you can try a curve. Put a curve in the bottom here. Okay, we'll work from there. So now we're going to be bringing back all these edges, including the curved edge, back to our vanishing point. And again, if you want to line it up but not bring it all the way back, that's totally fine to do that. So bring in your lines back. And as you get more practice with perspective, you'll be able to go a lot quicker. It's always a little tricky at first, but then once you get it, it just sort of clicks and you can work pretty quickly. Okay, so now I've got all my lines going back to my vanishing point. Again, if you want to keep bringing those all the way to the vanishing point, you certainly can. Now it's time to trim this up and then do a little erasing. Now, what I can do with these two lines, because they are parallel, I can go ahead and take my ruler and draw both of those in. All right, and I'm going to kind of erase this as I go just because there's a lot more lines, so it can get a little confusing. Feel free to do the same. Then I'm going to bring this line across. Okay, straighten that one up a little bit. Then I can do the same thing over here. I can bring this one across, jump over my curve here, and then continue it over here. And then I'm going to erase those lines up. Now the last thing you're going to do is put the curve in. So the curve you're going to freehand, of course, and you want it to be parallel to this curve. So you're just going to bring that in and freehand it. Okay? So now you've got another complex cutout. So what you should have on your paper is you should have 2 stacked boxes, 3 boxes going back in space, a letter, and another complex cutout. So you can go ahead and finish those up, and then we'll move on to our next demonstration on 1-point perspective.